begin that long trip here across the studio to join me for the Focus at 4. Rusty's starting his weekend a little bit early. Hey, first up on the Focus, as the first votes in the race for this GOP presidential nomination get closer and closer, the drama has not ended. Tension among the candidates and inside the Republican Party itself, it appears to be on the rise.
Yeah, you know, the typical stuff you expect to see now during presidential elections.
It's hardly surprising us anymore.
Candidates have threatened for differing reasons to leave the party, and today new poll numbers have come, or for two candidates who have been reluctant to attack one another on a possible collision course.
Ben Carson is threatening to leave the Republican Party if GOP leaders ignore the will of the voters.
I have no intention of running as an independent, but I certainly don't want to be a part of corruption.
Carson made the threat after a report the GOP is making preparations for a so-called brokered convention. That's where the nominee is picked at the convention and not through primaries. Ted Cruz told donors behind closed doors he's not worried about Carson or Donald Trump.
I believe that gravity will bring both of those campaigns down. People are looking for who is prepared to be a commander-in-chief, who understands the threats we face, who am I comfortable having their finger on the button.
Cruz has jumped to second in the latest CBS News poll, ahead of Carson but well behind Trump. The billionaire businessman has maintained his lead despite his controversial call for a ban on Muslims entering the country. During a radio interview, Senator Lindsey Graham offered his opinion on Trump's staying power with some GOP voters.
Well, there's about 40% of the Republican primary voter who believes that Obama was born in Kenya as a Muslim.
Graham says a Trump nomination would lead to a Hillary Clinton inauguration. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
Yeah, so on those polls, Senator Graham has struggled to connect with primary voters, receiving actually 0% in the latest CBS News poll. But Shell and I were just talking about this theory that I think people have been whispering about a little bit, but recently it's kind of showed up on the internet.
Yeah, it's that, you know, maybe Donald Trump is just saying these things to make Hillary Clinton look better. I don't know. He's saying some outlandish things. It's working for some. It's not for others. Either way, we still got a long way to go until the actual primaries and then the presidential election.
And that's kind of the best point right there, is we still have nearly a year till America makes this decision.
And a year more of this. Yeah. All right. Some reports say that there may have been up to 353 mass shootings across the country so far, just in 2015.
Yeah, so you've seen that more shootings than more mass shootings than actual days in this year so far. So listen to this: an Austin-based company made up of first responders hopes to train people on what to do just in case.
Where's Adele at? She ratted me out. I'm coming.
It is a situation that is all too common.
This is not entertainment or paintball.
There have been 24 mass shootings in the United States in just the last month, according to shootingtracker.com. Austin-based Combative Weapons Solutions aims to change the outcome for potential victims.
This is as close as we could get you to being in an actual gunfight without actually shooting at you.
The point is to put people in a stressful, simulative active shooter situation.
If we really have to use this, do you really know what to do?
I went through training in the mobile shoot house in Smithville, and the gunman and I both had simunition guns loaded with paint pellets, using a principle they call ADD.
What ADD stands for is to avoid, deny, and defend.
I quickly decide there's no way to avoid, no way to get out, and no way to hide.
I'm gonna make you pay. Somebody's paying.
Then we want to try and deny access between the shooter and potential victims.
So I grabbed the table and tried to block the door, keeping my back to the wall. In real life, locking and barricading doors has saved lives. In this situation, it only slows him down.
You're not getting away.
Just long enough for me to back into a corner out of his line of sight and open fire. If you are in a situation where no one except the gunman has a weapon, then the instructors here suggest you use anything you can get your hands on. An office chair, a snow globe, even a coffee mug. Get everyone you can to greet him up at the door with your back to the wall and take the shooter and the gun out.
If we decide that we need to defend, and that's the only option we have, the best advice that we can give you is to fight, fight, fight like your life depends on it, because it truly does.
That's interesting, because I feel like a conversation that always happens after these shootings, that now happen so often, is what would you do? You know, that's the coffee table conversation is right. What would we do in this situation? And I have no idea, so a training like that might be interesting, but the real thing, I imagine that's considerably different.
Yeah, we were just talking about, you know, it's kind of sad that people can now make money and a living off training you how to stay safe.
Deal
but
with a
I
mass
guess
shooting.
Something we need now.
Yikes. Hey, this also comes after, so you might remember that some sheriffs in towns here in Texas and elsewhere are beginning to urge their community members to actually arm themselves in case of possible attacks. So there's another way people are responding to this.
Right.
For the first time in 40 years, switching gears a little bit now, the U.S. Army is making changes to a century-old piece of hardware, one of those symbols, one of the most recognizable things about the Army, dog tags.
Yeah, and of course those dog tags are the identification implements that hang around each U.S. Army soldier's neck.
Right, but here's what's different now. So for something that is traditionally a very low-tech piece of equipment, very straightforward, very basic, these changes are actually pretty high-tech. On the new dog tags, the soldier's social security number will be gone. It'll be replaced with a randomly generated 10-digit Department of Defense identification number.
That's probably better for
Sure.
security's sakes. Yeah, the change is meant to combat identity theft, hence getting rid of the social security number. Now, if you find a pair of dog tags, you know a person's blood type, religion, social security number, and of course their name as well. With the new 10-digit number, the soldier is individualized and their identity can no longer be stolen.
So obviously a good change, but taking away that dog tag with the name on it, I know there are a lot of families who treasure the ones that they have now.
Exactly.
Anyway, an interesting move.
Let's try to get to some happier
news.
Shall we? Yeah.
Can we? We've been trying.
Yeah, so there's just under 2 weeks left until Christmas, and throughout the nation, many shoppers seem to be taking a vacation from holiday shopping. Myself included, I have done nothing. So far.
This news does not make me happier at all because it just reminds me that I am so far behind. This information coming from recent Consumer Reports holiday poll. Yeesh.
So Kathleen has bought me nothing as well. According to the poll, 36% of adults have not done any shopping yet this holiday season. That means the number of shopping procrastinators is about 6% higher than years past, and it's becoming harder to pinpoint exactly why.
I mean, I know for me it is just who I am as a person, but research shows that this year's shoppers are maybe less worried about buying beyond their means, so they're not rushing out to get those limited time blockbuster deals, those Black Friday deals, those first week of December deals. Online shopping, that's my game. That's impacting in-store sales in a huge way as well this year, with really nearly half of Americans doing a majority of their shopping online. And how easy is that? I can't blame them at all.
Right, and that's not to say that consumers won't be soon in panic mode to finish their holiday shopping. So if you're getting out this weekend or next weekend, probably plan for more folks being there than normal.
You'll see me out there. Yeah, frantically running around. Hey, so get on out there. Maybe it's about time.